Hello and welcome to the DC Stewart Show Podcast. I'm your host, Derek Stewart, once again on another fantastic Monday morning. It is October 20th, 2025. We're 1 week out from Halloween, and guess what? Do you have your Halloween costumes? I got mine on right now. I got my Halloween costume on right here in color. So this is what I'll wear on Halloween if I were to go out on Halloween night, but I highly doubt if I will. We hope everybody is in good health today and good spirits on a Monday morning. It's always harder to get started on a Monday morning. However, once you get up and running, you good to go. I mean, you get into the flow of things throughout your day, whether it's work or school or whatever else may happen. We wish you well on this wonderful Monday morning. So we have a lot of things to talk about today over the weekend. Guess what, folks? We had some really interesting games over the weekend. We'll talk a little bit about Miami versus Louisville. I predicted Miami would win that game. I'm very disappointed with Miami. However, we just need to rebound, and we don't need to let this keep us on a slide down. And that can happen. And hopefully Coach Mario Cristobal is going to have that team ready to play this week, because it's a lot of muddle going on in the ACC right now. Georgia Tech looked like they were up at the top of the key, still undefeated, especially in conference play. Clemson is nowhere to be found. Looks like SMU is really competitive. And even Louisville, Miami could potentially meet Louisville again. We don't know yet, but we'll talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk a little bit about the coaches' carnage this week. NCAA coaches, they're cutting them loose left and right. And we talked about several coaches over the past several shows. And it looks like Billy Napier was fired yesterday, along with Jay Norvell from Colorado State. We'll get you up to speed in that as well. We'll talk a little bit about James Franklin and his interview on College Game Day this past Saturday, and what he looks forward to in the future. And we got a whole lot of other things to talk about. We're going to slide a little bit of basketball in from this weekend, because I want to talk a little bit about KD's new contract, or should I say contract overall, which makes him one of the highest paid players ever in the history of the NBA. And we want the highest, yes. And Najee's here for all of this. So that's what makes me so comfortable with being here. Make sure you hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. We're over at TikTok. We're going to load a bunch of nice videos in there for you, new, and then we're going to repurpose some videos from our past so you can see some of our material. But just come over to YouTube, check us out at YouTube, check us out at Facebook. We're currently streaming live on YouTube and Facebook as we speak. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in my kinfolk, my main kinfolk, my loving kinfolk, Isaah and Najee, and I'm going to start with Najee today, because we always start with Isaah. So let's start with Najee as my first kinfolk. What is going on? How was your weekend? And tell us a little bit about what you enjoyed this weekend.
I enjoyed football. It was a lot of football going on, man. What you talking about? Now I'm gonna tell you right now, the only good thing that happened in football this weekend is that my Ravens had a bye week, so I didn't have to suffer another week without Lamar Jackson. That was my biggest thing. And when you talking about the cons, man, I mean, look at the Dolphins and look at the Canes. It seemed like everybody lost. That was a Miami. It was crazy, man. Like every Miami team in professional was just losing. Panthers lost. I mean, everybody was losing in Miami. There was nothing going on for Miami. Everybody took L's.
Well, we got to give the Hurricanes credit that they're not as bad as Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins is down, and they're in the bottom of the barrel, and they came and worked their way up. You know how crabs in the barrel, you dump a bunch of them in a barrel, and one's trying to climb out and the other one's pulling him down. Miami's nowhere to be found at the bottom of that barrel right now. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We think Mike McDaniel is not going to make it. He might, but I highly doubt it.
Nah, on the sidelines, he looked like he was filling out an application. He wasn't running no plays.
Yeah. And you know what? With that said, that's a sad state of affairs, because he's such a brilliant guy. Mike McDaniel is a brilliant mind. He went to Yale University. He was able to parlay that into professional football coaching. He played at Yale, and he knows football, but unfortunately, it's just the circumstances probably is not going to be in his favor this time around. So, he'll get another chance. I would think he will get another chance, not maybe as a head coach, but as an offensive coordinator. So we'll talk a little bit about the NFL. I watched the Falcons stink up the place last night on that late game. They looked fantastic against Buffalo, and then they looked like they were amateur. They looked like a college team playing San Francisco last night. I don't know what happened to them. Penix Jr., once he got rattled.
Not McCaffrey, they got Kittle back. And that right there.
And that changed the game, right? Form. When they got Kittle back, that changed everything.
McCaffrey did anything he wanted to. Kittle really didn't even. Kittle, I don't even think he even got the ball. He was just setting screens and protecting the quarterback. That's all he was doing. So I think they were really playing for whenever he explodes. But guess what? He didn't look to get the ball one time last night. At least from what I noticed. I don't think he got the ball one time. It was McCaffrey. He was getting receptions. He would run the ball. I think he had almost 20 rushes just in the first half. I'm like, oh,
right.
They cannot stop him. They cannot stop him.
Absolutely.
They cannot stop him at all.
Absolutely. So we're gonna get this party started. And let's get it started with Isaah before we go full on press on the court. What is happening, Isaah? That hat, Papa was a Rolling Stone once again. You got a hat collection. You going to send me a few hats? Make sure you Amazon them to me, or you can UPS them to me. Yeah, Amazon them to me. Just go and get me a hat just like you got. How about that?
No.
See how you treat me?
It will look like ass. No, I just don't want two bald heads on there at the same time. But anyway, you spoke about Yale and the fact that McDaniels was graduated from Yale and he played from Yale. You know what I feel like doing? Is yelling in his damn ear, bro, to tell these guys to learn how to tackle, man. That number 10 ran up and down the field on the Dolphins yesterday, man. I mean, it was sickening. It was deplorable to see how these guys cannot tackle, man. I mean, the basics of tackling. I mean, it was sickening to watch that game, man. And I didn't watch the whole entire game. I watched clippings of it. Just tackles. They should have lit this guy up. This guy was running through traffic, and nobody put the wood on him. You can grab a guy by the legs if you don't want to have no collision with him. Grab him. That's the most sure tackle that you can have. That's the most basic tackle.
Sure.
You can bring Hearing down by grabbing his legs, man. If you don't want to get stiff arm, you hit Hearing around the legs and grab his ankle, you can bring him down. That's the more sure tackle. And neither one of them did that. They always think you got to have a collision with a person. The object of tackling McDaniel and the rest of y'all sorry ass linebackers is to stop the forward progress from a damn runner. That's it. You don't have to collide with him if you're scared to make contact. Grab the guy by his shoestrings, by his ankles, by his tibias. You wrap his knees together, and guess what? He's going to fall down. Man, I just don't understand these guys, man. They all of them get on the news with all them sob-ass excuses of why they lost the game. 1-6, man. 1-6. You know what? Just their organization, the camp, stadium, just boosting these guys up. And Najee clowned me so severely that I had a headache that night. Because when I got ready to go to bed that night, I could hear Najee.
You can hear Najee in your sleep.
I heard him before I went to sleep. I could not sleep, DC. That's the thing. I couldn't sleep because of it. Every time I took my pillow to lay down, they're gonna be the same. When I turn my head this way, they're gonna be the same. I said, well, goddamn, what the hell? And guess what? He was right. He was right. Man, other than that, and then my Canes drop a boo-boo. And let an unranked team come in here and beat them at the house, man. I'm just confident in Cristobal to, rekindle the pride and the winning, fulfill these guys to, rebound from this, because Beck just, he just threw out. He just threw 4 picks, man. And how you win a game throwing 4 picks? The only thing is, DC, and I found it really, really fascinating, the fact that out of 4 picks, they didn't score any touchdowns or field goals off of those things. They just stopped.
Louisville didn't convert any of those picks to points, I don't think. Yeah.
That's rarely that happens, man. So my Canes, y'all get on track. My Dolphins, don't know what to say, man.
They lost cause right now, and we'll talk a little bit about that and what's possibly needed for the Dolphins.
It's deep, DC. That thing is deep, man, because you got Tua running his fat mouth last week about guys need to step up, and he just stunk up the place yesterday too. So he ain't got no room to be trying to call nobody out around here dry snitching on the team, man. They need to take him out back.
And give him a good whooping, huh?
Just shake him up, man. You ain't got no whoop.
Just shake him a little bit. Try to shake some sense into him.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so here's the thing, and we'll get this thing started. Let's get this party started. Hey, the party is right here. And guess what? We ain't going nowhere. This is where the party is at. We want to hit you up. We want you here and engage with us here inside of this platform, especially YouTube. Shoot us a message. I'm gonna answer you real time. I'm gonna try to get as many of them answered as I can, basically, because we got quite a few people on with us today. I want to say what's up to Cooking with Kellen. What a do. Thank you for joining us. Sloan's Galaxy, thank you for joining us today. We're happy that you're with us on a Monday morning. And Kiera Godwin, sorry about that, said hi, and we say hi back. Join us, stay with us. We're going to be talking about a lot of interesting things today. So Annie Brown creates our topics for us. So let's get this party started. And let's start with this first major topic, which we'll be spending quite a bit of time on, talking about college coaches and the ones that have been fired so far. To me, this has been the most unique year in the history of college football from my perspective of coaches getting fired in one year. I can't remember back as far as back as the 80s or even the 70s where this many coaches have been cut loose because they didn't come through with the expectations of winning. And winning is everything. Winning is everything in our society. Winning is everything in life. Winning is our everyday, it's in our psyche every day that we need to win. Whatever we do, we need to win. We go out and drive, we need to win. We go to work, we need to win. And when we don't do those things, sometimes we get fallout. Sometimes, there's backlash. And college coaches, the pressure of college coaching now is just leap years away from what it used to be. Back in the 70s and 80s, the average college coach probably made $50,000 a year, if that. And I'm just throwing a number out there. I don't know how much they made back then. You look at the average salary of a college coach now, it's at least $5 million a year, And that $5 million is another number that I chunked out there. But it's this weekend was something else because we talked about Billy Napier getting fired at some point, and it looks like there was rumors swirling last week that the boosters were telling the AD and all of the administrators at Florida, look, he needs to go. He needs to go. We don't know what you need to do to get winning back here, but he needs to go. So with all of that said, Napier had an opportunity to win, and he had the tools. I think he had most of the tools. The program is one of the top programs in the country. He had all the resources he needed. He had players in there. He had top players that could win. It's just sometimes the foundations and all of the dots does not line up. So what I want to do is start out and ask Isaah. It looks like him and Jay Norvell, who was the head coach of Colorado, and he's lasted for 3 years. We'll get to Norvell later. But Billy Napier, what do you think went wrong, Isaah, for him not to be able to survive and to be able to win at this program?
Now, DC, I've spoken to huge boosters from the University of Florida, and they was not pleased with him. And this was actually in the beginning of the season. He actually got an extension of prayer to be the coach this year. So that's why they didn't even let him take a full year before they nailed him and took them scissors out and clipped him, because they were fed up with him already. And the mere fact that you can't sustain wins, I ain't talking about this roller coaster where you win one game, you look beautiful one game, and then next thing they want to see some consistent winning. And if you don't do that, they're going to start collecting some guys to get together to buy you out. And that's what they've done, man. And I actually like him as a coach. I think he's a great coach, but if you can't get that body of players to gel and have some consistent winning and have the student body fill that stadium up and keep booties in that seat, man, you're going to be out of here, man, because they don't play. Winning is everything, and they don't
everything
that roller coaster of winning, man. They just want some consistent. If you're not vying for a playoff or a championship, man, your days are numbered. And I don't care what level of play you're on. You could be a Division I school or top notch on the bottom of the totem pole, HBCU. You could be anywhere. Your tenure is not going to be long if you can't have no consistent winning. And with Billy Napier, he just had to do it this year. He had to be winning at least 10 games for his job to be secure. Other than that, they was ready to pedal him off. I don't know who's going to replace him, because those names that they got swarming around that job, I don't think we'll do it. And Chucky's name is one of the highest level of promotion right now to take that job. And Gruden is not going to turn that team around. I think he's a has-been. I think he's a washed up. And I think he's an idiot, too, as a coach. So I don't think he's going to fit the mold for the University of Florida. So they better start thinking somewhere else.
Let me ask you this before I go to Najee. Do you think they might reach back out to Urban Meyer? Urban Meyer won 2 championships there, remember? Urban Meyer's a good coach. I don't know what he is now, because I don't know. I don't think he was in the NIL and the transfer portal system when he was coaching, and I could be wrong with that, but I would think that Florida could potentially reach back out to him, right?
See, the magic word, DC. The average, that word what you use used to be is what you better cling on to. The game has passed Urban Meyer by. You know, we got the NIL and all that stuff been transformed since he's been here. He's been out of coaching for what? Probably 10 years? Dude, you can't go around and sit around and get rusty for 10 years. This is not the same type of player. These guys are making, what I was saying, DC, you talking about these guys are making millions of dollars now. And Urban Meyer, his coaching philosophy was the scare tactic. It was the same guy like Spurrier. They were the same type of coaches.
You've reached the end of another episode of the DC Stewart Sports Talk Podcast. Be sure to connect with us at Facebook and Twitter.com. Your voice is important, so head over to iTunes to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. Catch our next episode.